Welcome to this intense, rapid-fire explainer where we're going to unlock a senior-level interview secret that will completely transform how you write reactive code. Look, RxJS currently has well over 100 default operators, but if you want to master reactive programming, especially when you're handling network calls and frameworks like Angular, there are 4 specific operators you absolutely have to know. So let's jump right in and demystify the famous RxJS higher-order mapping operators.
But first, we really got to talk about the problem. Are nested subscriptions completely ruining your code? Take a second and think about your own projects. If you're subscribing to an observable just to trigger another HTTP request inside of it, you're actually falling into a massive anti-pattern. This creates messy, deeply nested code that's incredibly hard to manage, and honestly, it completely defeats the purpose of using RxJS in the first place. You basically end up triggering operations without any real control over how they execute over time.
So, the key here is understanding the solution, which is higher-order mapping. Instead of nesting those subscriptions, we use higher-order mapping to transparently subscribe to network observables and receive their responses seamlessly. We take a plain value, say a user's form input or a search string, and map it directly into a brand new inner observable stream, like an HTTP request. But here's the catch. What happens when multiple values arrive super quickly? Do we run them in parallel, queue them up, cancel them entirely? Well, let's use a restaurant analogy to figure out exactly which operator does what.
Number 1. Concat map, the orderly queue.
Imagine a strict, orderly queue at a restaurant where orders are cooked one by one. The chef flat out refuses to start cooking the next meal until the current one is entirely plated and finished. Technically speaking, this is exactly what concat map does. It takes each emitted value and waits for the inner HTTP request to completely finish before it'll even look at the next value in the stream. It guarantees perfect sequential execution. Here's what that actually looks like in an Angular component. We're listening to a reactive form's value changes to implement an auto-save feature. ConCatMap ensures our form draft pre-saves hit the backend sequentially, guaranteeing we don't accidentally save things out of order. If a user types really fast, ConCatMap just patiently queues up those HTTP requests. One finishes, the next one begins. Your database will always reflect the exact order of events.
Moving on to number 2, merge map, the massive buffet. Picture a massive, chaotic buffet kitchen where absolutely everything is cooked at the exact same time. There's zero waiting around. The second an order comes in, boom, it's on the stove. On a technical level, merge map completely throws away that orderly queue we just talked about. It doesn't wait for anything to complete. It immediately subscribes to every single inner observable in parallel, as fast as the source values arrive.
Now watch what happens if we take that exact same autosave code from earlier, but we swap out concat map for merge map. If you accidentally use merge map for your form saves, typing quickly will trigger dozens of overlapping HTTP requests that hit your database totally out of order. Under heavy load, a request initiated later might actually finish earlier. It's a total disaster for sequential data. You should really only use merge map when order absolutely doesn't matter, and you just want everything done as fast as humanly possible.
Next up is number 3, switch map, the changed order.
Imagine a customer walks up to the counter and changes their mind halfway through their order being cooked. What does the kitchen do? They immediately throw away the old food and start cooking the new dish. I mean, they don't waste time finishing a meal the customer no longer wants. The technical strategy here is exactly the same. The exact millisecond a new value arrives, SwitchMap forcefully unsubscribes from the previous inner observable, canceling that network request entirely so it can prioritize the new one.
This cancellation effect makes SwitchMap the absolute perfect choice for an Angular type-ahead search. When a user is typing a search term, we only care about their latest keystroke, right? If they type H, then quickly type E, we don't care about the search results for just H anymore. SwitchMap effortlessly kills those obsolete backend search requests the exact millisecond the user types a new letter. It completely frees up your server resources.
And finally, number 4, exhaust map, the busy waiter. Imagine a busy waiter carrying a massive tray of food. You can wave your hands all you want, but they're going to completely ignore you until they finish serving their current table. In code, exhaust map does exactly this. It simply discards any incoming values from the source stream if an inner observable is currently running, flat out refusing to map anything new until it completes.
So where is this actually useful? Think about a save button click handler. Have you ever had an anxious user frantically click your submit button 20 times in a row because the network was just a little slow? If you use a normal map, you just triggered 20 identical backend saves. Ouch.
But with exhaust map, it ignores every single duplicate click while that first save is ongoing. It basically acts as an incredibly elegant, built-in spam filter for your UI events. All right, let's lock this knowledge in and finalize your senior-level cheat sheet so you never struggle with these operators again. This is the only mental model you need. Memorize this mapping right here. Need things to happen in a strict sequence? Use concat map, the orderly queue. Need everything to happen at once in parallel? Reach for merge map, the massive buffet. Building a search bar and need to cancel old requests? That's switch map, the changed order. And if you're dealing with a submit button that needs to ignore spam clicks, you definitely need exhaust map, the busy waiter. Which brings us to a final, provocative question. Which operator is secretly missing from your Angular codebase right now? Open up your codebase today, hunt down those messy nested subscriptions, remember our restaurant analogy, and ask yourself which of these 4 operators will instantly clean up your architecture. Implement it and watch your code become cleaner, faster, and truly reactive. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I hope this helps you absolutely crush your next coding challenge.